The Montreal Canadiens are in Seattle to face the Kraken. I'm actually doing this video the next morning. I couldn't do it last night. It was so late. But this feels weird. I think a lot of fans were hopeful that Montreal would beat the Kraken. And I think for good reason. The Kraken have had problems this season. But I remember last time they faced the Kraken, and things didn't turn out so well. It was 8-2 for the Kraken at home for Montreal. This is where the food poisoning storyline started. Check it out.
They said things along the lines of, we have to do better.
Before the game, we were feeling very good, but we went out to eat, and the Kraken were at the restaurant, and they said that they would pay for our bill, and they bought us the food, and we all got sick, and we were sick all night, and that's why we lost 8-2.
Just forget about this one. This one goes in the trash.
But Montreal's not going to make that mistake again. They're not going to let Seattle buy their dinner for them. They're going to earn their own dinner, right? Let's talk about it. All these games are important. Every one of these games going forward is important until they're not. So you really felt like they were going into this one with some fire underneath their butts. A win tonight would mean that they would tie Columbus in that last wildcard spot. And I think that being able to accomplish that it's not just symbolic of something. It demonstrates that they're capable of getting there and going forward with this, really trying to get into a playoff spot and play some really important games. Something else that isn't just symbolic is subscribing to this channel. If you're watching this, I do content like this all the time. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers. Please help me get there. Become part of the community. Everyone else, just hit that like button. We've been kind of slacking on likes lately, except for that last video. That did pretty good. Anyway, let's get to the game. Et je vais commencer avec quelque chose que on toujours commence avec. C'est le formation de départ. Starting lineup. We've got Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, New Hook, Gallagher, Line A, Dvorak, Anderson, Pizzetta, Evans, Armia. On defense, Matheson, Carrier, Struble, Hudson, Jack-Eye, Savard, and finally in net to give it a crack, it's Dobes. Worth noting that Line A would move to Line 2, Hua would move down. And I was glad to see they were going with Dobes on this one because Montembeault and Primo did not perform well last time. So let's pivot. All right, lots of action this game. They dropped the puck, and right away, Dobes is having to make some big saves. Unfortunately, I feel like Dobes got stronger as the game went on because he lets a couple in early. Check out this one by Brandon Montour.
Down by Eli Tolvanen. Dobes out to play the puck. Wraps it high along the glass. That's knocked down right in front.
Dobes, I think you would love to get this one back. This is not a goal that he should be letting in. But Montreal tries to make things happen on the other side of the sheet. They're putting on more shots initially than Seattle is. But then Dobes continues to get tested. They ring one off the crossbar, and he steals one back from them. This is definitely a goal.
Battling for that space, and he works it across, but here's shot.
But Dobes shuts the door. Then we see Xhekaj get a penalty for essentially being too strong. Bad call here. Lots of bad calls this game, but Montreal got away with a couple of them. So did Seattle. Just a poorly called game. Seattle rings one off the post again.
They play pass with it. Montour. Newman, one-time drive, and
I think this is like the fourth time this period that a shot goes off the post. So that's going to do it for the first period. It ends 1-0 for Seattle. Seattle is up 12-5 in shots now. Second period starts. Montreal looking kind of sleepy, especially bad on the defensive end. You're really missing Gouli here. And for the second time this game, Seattle puts a point on the board.
Time. Tolvanen, waiting, shooting, score!
Tolvanen, a quick pass from Eberle. Dobes had no time to react here. But not long after that, Evans is tripped. We're going on some pee-pee time. And kind of like clockwork, kind of like we're going back to old times in January, early January, December, Patrick Laine with a power play goal.
Leaves for Suzuki. Suzuki, Laine, one-timer, score!
Yeah, that looks like a power play goal by Patrick Laine. Then, that kind of aggravates me. Larson blows right through Dobes's head. Jack-Eye responds immediately. He says, I don't like that. And then Slav takes some exception to it as well. But somehow this ends up as a 4-on-4. I think that there should have been an additional goaltender interference call. I mean, you got to call that. He took his head off. That's okay, though. That's okay, because our Newfie is going to grow his eyebrows just a little bit bigger.
Laine. Patrick Laine. In centering feed, score! Laine to Newhook!
Laine sets up Newhook perfectly here, and Newhook just has to tap it in. Still having defensive woes on the other end of the sheet, Dobes is making a flurry of saves. But basically right after that, the Habs respond.
One-on-one, Slafkovsky cutting in, wrist shot, score! Uri Slafkovsky, what a dagger!
Slafkovsky, second half Slav, assisted by Caulfield and Hudson. So after that little flurry, Slav goes back, one-on-one, puts it in, makes no mistakes. So Montreal battled back from being down from 2. They went ahead, and this period's over. 3-2 Montreal, 19-28 in terms of shots for Seattle. So Seattle's really pouring it on in the offensive end, but Montreal's not doing bad either. It's a very active game. The third period starts. Crazy chance for Suzuki here, but he can't get good wood on it to put it in. And then he's going to strike again, making it his 14th of the season. 40 points for the guy.
Nick Suzuki off the wall, up top, Struble, one-timer, tip, score! The tip in!
Second half Slav, 4-2 Montreal. They battled back from being down 2, and now they're up 2. Assist by Struble and Suzuki. Suzuki now, I believe, has 69 points in 65 games? Yeah, that's incredible. Suzuki's really proving himself this season. He's like 9 points behind Jack Eichel. And how much do you hear about Jack Eichel? People need to be talking about Suzuki more. So battled their way back from being down 2. Now they're up 2, and Seattle responds after 2 just gut-wrenching penalties from Arber Xhekaj and David Savard. First of all, Newman, I guess his name's Newman, despite his name being spelled Nyman. First game in the NHL, left all alone, no coverage, first goal, first game.
Up for Montour, he'll back at it in deep. Everly, waiting, in front, score!
4-3 Montreal. Now it's Matty Benier's turn on the power play.
Done with him, done. One-timer, shot, score! Jordan Ever.
A long tip in front. Dobes has no chance on this. This is tipped perfectly. So we have to go to overtime. I'm going to show you the entirety of overtime. I don't care if the NHL wants to give me a copyright claim like they did with my last video. Here it is.
Stephenson, right away, set play, Montour, breakaway, score!
Yeah, it's a dagger through the heart after battling back and then going up by 2 to lose into overtime like this. I'm not even going to analyze overtime. I think you can draw your own conclusions, but this shouldn't have went to overtime. This overtime is brought to you courtesy of Arber Xhekaj and David Savard. So a tough loss. We still got 1 point though, so we're 2 points out of a playoff spot. It just means that they have to win. They definitely have to win against Florida on Saturday, and that's going to be a tough game to win. But that's how tight it is in the Eastern Conference right now. You have to win games against the teams that should be winnable. So you shouldn't be losing games to the Kraken. You shouldn't be losing games to the Flames. And if you are, you need to win against the Stanley Cup defending team, Florida Panthers, or the game after this, division rivals who are also vying for a wildcard spot and are just on a hot streak, the Ottawa Senators. So we'll see what the future holds. I'm still very optimistic. I hope you are too. I know that this is a very optimistic community because the comments you guys give me and just the feedback and the criticisms and the analysis that you provide in the comments, it's like spot on every time. I might see like 2 or 3 comments down in the comment sections that I kind of have to squint my eyes and turn my head a little bit. Smart community, upbeat, optimistic community. I have nothing to complain about. You guys rock. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video. It does something with YouTube. I don't know if there's like a wheel in there that turns or something like that. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed by now, you watched, I don't know how long this video is going to be, like 10 minutes or something like that. You've watched this much and you haven't subscribed. What's wrong with you? And as always, I will see you right there, you down in the comments.